Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, where the latest Liverpool news comes to life. Big updates today as the Premier League panel makes a shock decision on Virgil van Dijk's controversial goal in the Man City vs Liverpool clash. Plus, the transfer saga surrounding Marc Guehi and Alexander Isak takes a dramatic turn. What does this mean for the Reds' future? Stay tuned as we break down the latest twists in Liverpool's transfer strategy and much more. Let's dive in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Premier League panel make new decision on Virgil van Dijk goal in Man City vs Liverpool. The Premier League's key match incidents panel have ruled that Virgil van Dijk's disallowed goal in Liverpool's defeat to Manchester City should have stood. The Premier League's key match incidents panel believe Virgil van Dijk's chalked-off goal in Liverpool's 3-0 defeat to Manchester City should have been allowed to stand. Nevertheless, it has also been concluded that VAR was correct not to reverse the on-field decision after the Dutchman's thunderous header was disallowed by Chris Kavanagh's assistant, Stuart Burt. The reigning Premier League champions would have drawn level at 1-1 had Van Dijk's effort not been dismissed due to Andy Robertson being stood in an offside position. Officials determined that the Scotland international was blocking Gianluigi Donnarumma's view as he ducked to let the ball pass through. The Times have now disclosed that the KMI panel have disagreed with the assessment of Kavanagh and Burt, though they also concluded that the VAR official involved, Michael Oliver, was correct not to step in. The panel comprises 3 former players or managers, 1 representative from the Premier League and 1 from the PGMOL. Liverpool manager Arne Slot was incensed following the loss to City. "I think it is obvious and clear the wrong decision has been made," he said. He, Robertson, didn't interfere at all with what the goalkeeper can do. Such was the Reds' frustration, they reached out to PGMOL chief Howard Webb to voice their concerns regarding the decision. Webb provided a justification for the ruling this week, acknowledging that Donnarumma saw the ball all the way but that it was not unreasonable for the officials to arrive at the conclusion they did. The assistant referee was heard stating, "Robertson's in line of vision, right in front of the keeper. He's ducked under the ball. He's very, very close to him. I think he's in line of vision. I think Liverpool should have signed Marc Guehi before Alexander Isak. There are no guarantees now." Marc Guehi's status as a free agent at the end of the season means Liverpool will face increased competition for the Crystal Palace captain, according to one former Red star. Marc Guehi's status as a free agent at the end of the season means Liverpool will face increased competition for the Crystal Palace captain, says former defender Jason McAteer. And former Ireland international McAteer believes Arne Slot and sporting director Richard Hughes should have pursued England star Guehi ahead of a British transfer record deal for Alexander Isak from Newcastle United at the end of the summer window. Liverpool signed Isak for £125 million on September 1 but saw a £35 million agreement for Guehi fall through on the same day after Palace pulled the plug at the 11th hour after their attempts to recruit Igor Julio from Brighton and Hove Albion were scuppered. The Premier League champions retain an interest in Guehi and could sign the centre-back next summer for nothing when his Palace deal expires, but McAteer is expecting much more competition for the player's signature given he can move as a free agent. "Being a free agent brings everyone into the conversation," McAteer told Ace Odds. "It brings Bayern Munich in, it brings Real Madrid, Barcelona, and other clubs in as well. If Liverpool drop off, there is no guarantee that they will qualify for the Champions League, and that could be one thing which Guehi wants when moving as a free agent. It could also be a change of culture or something else. He might end up at Real Madrid, and Guehi is a real talent who would go directly into the first team. It really is a concern that Liverpool missed out on him. Marc Guehi is 100% a player I would like at Liverpool, and I would have liked him to come in before Isak. I think once Hugo Ekitike was done, I think Liverpool needed to strengthen their squad elsewhere." Alexander Isak's story had impact on squad. Liverpool gets transfer verdict. Alexander Isak's departure from Newcastle during the summer has had a knock-on effect on the rest of Eddie Howe's squad, with the team's form taking a turn for the worse. Alexander Isak continues to cast an unwanted shadow over Newcastle's campaign. 2.5 months after his acrimonious exit from St James Park to Liverpool in a transfer that sent shockwaves across European soccer, Newcastle is still experiencing the aftershocks. Newcastle pocketed a British record transfer fee for Isak and secured 2 strikers of its own in Nick Woltemade and Jon Wissa. The latter remains working towards full fitness following a knee injury sustained days after his arrival, while Wolfmade made an impressive start with 4 goals in his opening 6 appearances before encountering difficulties in recent matches. His decline in form has mirrored an overall downturn from the Magpies following a promising beginning to the campaign. Eddie Howe's players are enduring a difficult spell after 3 consecutive away losses, including a disappointing display at Brentford last Sunday. The energy and drive of the team appear to be absent, and former Premier League champion Emmanuel Petit has attributed this, partly, to the lingering impact of Isak's departure on the remaining squad. Petit, who also claimed the World Cup with France, believes the consequences of the striker's exit, considering his standing within the group, has contributed to undermining the remaining players' mindset and self-belief. Newcastle United have done great things in the Premier League for the last couple of years, but this year, they maybe haven't hit the standards that we have been used to, he told Jeff Bet. I think the Alexander Isak story has had an impact on the squad. If I'm a Newcastle player seeing one of the best players leave, I'm disappointed. Hugo Ekitike sends clear message to Arne Slot amid Alexander Isak dilemma. Hugo Ekitike was on the scoresheet for France on Thursday night, with the Liverpool forward finally breaking his international duck, and Arne Slot will no doubt have taken notice. Liverpool's Hugo Ekitike would have caught the eye of his club manager and teammates with a standout performance for France on Thursday night. The 23-year-old was one of 2 forward signings at Liverpool over the summer, alongside former Newcastle United star Alexander Isak. However, Ekitike has arguably had a more significant role in Arne Slot's squad so far, due to Isak's late arrival and ongoing fitness issues. Despite this, much of the chatter around Liverpool's summer dealings questioned the necessity for 2 high-profile striker signings. While both have already appeared for the Reds as a front 2, Ekitike has once again demonstrated another role that he could play at Anfield. He is currently on international duty with France, having earned his first senior call-up back in August. In their World Cup qualifier against Ukraine on Thursday evening, he replaced Bradley Barcola on the left wing in the 67th minute. The appearance saw Ekitike score his first senior goal for the nation, and it was quite something. The Liverpool player collected the ball deep in his own half before charging almost the entire length of the pitch, evading defenders along the way. He then played a slick 1-2 with Kylian Mbappe before slotting it through the legs of Ukraine goalkeeper Anatoly Trubin. He also rattled the post and was unfortunate not to bag a brace before the final whistle. Ekitike's goal was France's 4th and a comfortable victory that confirms their place at the summit of Group D in World Cup qualifying after 5 matches. Only the group leaders automatically qualify, with the runners-up entering a playoff. France are sitting on 13 points, with Iceland and Ukraine trailing on 7 and Azerbaijan propping up the table with a solitary point. With their ticket to next summer's World Cup now booked, Ekitike will be hoping for a starting berth when they face off against Azerbaijan in their concluding match this weekend. The forward will also be keen to bring his scoring touch to his Liverpool outings as the Reds prepare for a vital sequence of fixtures following the international hiatus. Despite the summer spending spree, Slot's team have had a rocky start to the season, with their recent 3-0 defeat at Manchester City exacerbating their problems. After the international break, they welcome struggling Nottingham Forest to Anfield before hosting Dutch outfit PSV in the Champions League a few days later. With Isak also returning fit and named in the Sweden squad for their qualifiers, Ekitike's adaptability to play in different positions could prove crucial if Slot wants to include both players in his starting size. I expected Marc Guehi to join Liverpool, it's obvious what my teammate will do next. Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton has opened up on Marc Guehi's collapsed move to Liverpool. Adam Wharton has confessed it's pretty obvious that Marc Guehi will be departing Crystal Palace as he insisted his Eagles teammate is good enough to start for any club across the globe. The England international saw a switch to Liverpool blocked at the final moment on transfer deadline day, but has continued to attract interest from the Reds with his Selhurst Park deal set to expire next summer. However, Liverpool aren't the sole club keen on securing the centre-back's signature, with the defender set to become one of the most sought-after Bosman transfers when the season concludes as he continues to be linked with a number of elite clubs across Europe. The Reds have also been linked with a potential swoop for Wharton in recent months as the midfielder keeps delivering impressive displays for Palace. Yet the 21-year-old, who made his competitive England debut as a late substitute against Serbia on Thursday evening, recently shared his thoughts on Guehi's future as he expressed hope his club and international colleague will, at minimum, complete the campaign with the Eagles, reports the Liverpool Echo. There's obviously so much speculation, he said on the Athletic FC podcast. I think it's pretty obvious. I think it came out that he wasn't going to sign a new deal. So yeah. I think, obviously, he's a top defender. You've seen it week in, week out in the Premier League. You've seen it at the Euros and after that for England. So I mean, he's so consistent. You see it in training. Well, I see it in training every day as well. So down to earth as well. He never gets carried away. And yeah, he could literally go to any club in the world, for me, and be starting comfortably. It's probably just where he goes. And when. If he goes in January or in the summer, who knows? I hope he stays until summer so we can have him for a bit longer. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Wharton said that the Palace changing room had expected Guehi to depart for Liverpool as he disclosed how the centre-back responded after witnessing his transfer fall through. People were probably shocked that he didn't go, he added. Because it was all over, he was going, he was basically there. We expected him. I think it was after Villa. We pretty much thought he was gone after that, or I did at least. And then yeah, it ended up collapsing and then it was just back to normal. But that's just the type of guy Marc is. He's not going to complain and he won't show his frustrations. He just gets on with it and just shows the type of professional he is. If you looked at his performances, you couldn't tell that he just had a move taken away from him at the last second. That's just credit to him. He added, no, I don't think he did say his goodbyes. Well, he didn't say it to me. Maybe he knew he wasn't going. I hope so. No, he didn't say anything like that. Obviously nothing was confirmed. It was kind of in the air. People were maybe talking about it but not talking about it. Despite the speculation surrounding his own future at Crystal Palace, Wharton insists, unlike Guehi's future, he's not paying much attention to rumors linking himself with the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United.